Welcome to the Gringos in Buenos Aires Podcast, the podcast that brings expat/immigrant life to you. I'm your host, Paul Perry, and today's dose is being brought to you by Locuras Rock. And my friend Charlie in Villa Gesell, mi amigo Charlie. And today's guest is a musician, Argentine born, USA bred, sowing the seeds of music and rock and roll into the hearts of Argentines here over the rainbow. Let's give a warm gringo welcome to John Goodblood. What's up, buddy?
Thank you for having me. How are you today?
Hi, man.
How's it going here?
Thank you, man. It's nice to have you here, man.
No, it's my total pleasure, man.
I remember we met outside a bar, an Irish bar.
We did, yes. Slaint Irish pub, right?
Yeah.
That was actually a couple of weeks after I just gone back into the country, so it was good to start making friends right away.
Buenos Aires is a boomerang. You left and then you came back.
It always is. Yeah, there's something that it's like cab driver philosophy. Some people may have heard this before, that they say that if you leave Buenos Aires for 6 months, everything changes. But if you leave for 6 years and come back, nothing's changed. I always thought that was interesting. I don't know what it means, but I've heard people say it before. So,
how's it apply to you? When did you leave and when did you come back?
Well, I left right before the pandemic. I mean, I've lived around like the Americas, I guess, since I was a little boy. But yeah, I lived here between the ages of 16 and 26, and then I went to Canada right before the pandemic, and I stayed there until about March of 2026. So it's been about 3.5 months or something like that.
So where did you go to school? You went to school here?
I've been to school everywhere, man. Like I was born here, and then I went to, when I was 11 months old, my family moved to Virginia, Arlington, Virginia, near D.C. So I went to public school there. Then I went to school in New York between the ages of 8 and 16. So I lived in New York till around like 2007, 2008, and then I did high school here. So
always rocking with your guitar?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing music since I was around like 9, 10 years old, something like that. Started in New York, and I guess I've been doing it professionally since I was around 17 years old or 18 years old, something like that.
So you started off with the guitar?
Yeah, I started off with the guitar, played a lot of things,
Who had a guitar?
Well, I had some neighbors in New York that their father was a drummer, right? These kind of Cuban-American neighbors. Their father was a drummer, and then when in the early teenage years, they started getting into playing rock and roll music. Like, they had a little bit more money than my family, so they started like buying electric guitars and amps and stuff, and they just kind of designated the bass guitar to me. They just said, "You're going to play bass." And my sister was a punk rocker in New York in the mid-2000s, like that last kind of wave of punk rock music that happened in New York right before CBGB's closed. And so I just kind of I had no choice. So it was just like, you're going to play music. And then I started getting into playing acoustic guitar, then electric guitar. And the years went by, I started playing banjo, played piano, started singing, started writing. It all just kind of came in waves, I guess. So I've been doing this for a long time.
Who's your favorite guitar player?
It's a great question, man. There's so many great guitar players out there. I guess growing up, like a big, like a guitar hero of mine, like in my teenage years, have been someone like Angus Young.
Uh-huh.
I think I liked him a lot because, like, even though he was like when he had the whole schoolboy uniform thing, and he was like in his 20s when he started doing that, I guess. But to me, it seemed like he could have been my friend, Angus Young, because he had the schoolboy uniform. He just kind of. And his style has always kind of stayed with me. But through the years, I've gotten into a whole bunch of guitar players. I mean, I really like, just before I came here, I was listening to Eddie Van Halen. I love his style a lot. And then when I was in my 20s here in Argentina, I started getting into other more like obscure guitars. There's a great guitar player. His name was, Argentine guitar player. His name was Oscar Aleman. And I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant about him, if you don't mind.
Sure,
yeah.
Go for it, man. So, I had never heard of him.
Yeah, Oscar Aleman, he was a really interesting dude. That he was very poor. He was from Chaco. But he got really good at guitar. He had a mentor that showed him how to play. And one of the first jazz reviews from the United States that came here, his band opened for this jazz review there here in Buenos Aires. And they were so good that they took him on tour in Europe, right? And he ended up becoming, there was this famous jazz singer named Josephine Baker that was huge in Paris. There was like a big jazz and tango mania in Paris in the 1930s, and he became her band leader. And he was also contemporary to another great European guitar player named Django Reinhardt. gypsy jazz kind of stuff. And he was doing great in Paris in the 30s, but like in the late 30s, what happens in Paris is that the Nazis invade, correct? And the Nazis didn't like jazz music because it was the music of black people and Jewish people, right? And he was dark-skinned and he played jazz. And he actually had, I'm going to show the camera, he had a guitar similar to this. This was known as a steel guitar, or a resophonic guitar, or dobro, a lot of different names. And he had one kind of like this. And one day in 1939, like he tried to like defend some old lady that was being harassed by some Nazi officials, and they beat the crap out of him. And they took the guitar, the steel guitar, and they melted it into, for like, and they used the metal for like military parts. And then he had to flee France, and go back to Argentina. But that's just an anecdotal story about him. He was truly like a virtuoso of a guitar player, and arguably one of the best guitarists this country ever produced.
Wow,
yeah,
that's a hell of a
story. So I like him a lot. And
what's his name again?
Oscar Aleman.
Oscar Aleman.
I think his granddaughter's
That's
still
ironic,
around.
though. The Germans burned
down
his
right.
guitar, man.
Yeah, exactly with that last name, right? Yeah, they melted his guitar. Yeah, and I think his granddaughter's still around, kind of repping like his story. It's kind of sad because he kind of died in poverty. Like he should have been revered as like one of the greats, but since he was kind of dark skinned and just. Music, just how the way the music industry goes. He kind of
so many great guitar players.
Yeah, what's yours? Who do you like?
Well, one of my favorite guitar players is obviously Jerry Garcia.
Oh, of course,
because I'm a big Grateful Dead fan. Mm-hmm. But one of my favorite guitar players is a friend of mine. His name is Luis Alberto Spinetta.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He used to sit
there.
You
told me, right, that you used to see him like back in the day, right?
He used to sit on his sofa and play the guitar, and I was like, "What are you doing, man? Why are you playing the guitar? Come back and roll a J," Like,
yeah, well, he was such a talented guitar player, and his son Dante is also arguably, some people say he's one of the best like electric guitarists, even though he's been known for more as his hip hop work. Dante Spinetta is a really talented electric guitar player as well.
Yeah, well, when I met Spinetta, Dante was just getting started with the whole rap stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Ilya Kuriaki.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They were big back then.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and Jerry Garcia is underrated. A lot of underrated guitar players.
Yeah,
Jerry Garcia, he was missing a finger, but he still managed to play
Jerry was great, man. And the other guy, Bob Weir.
Yeah. John Mayer also.
Yeah, John Mayer played with the Dead recently. Yeah, of course.
You like classic rock?
Yeah, of course. That was kind of like the bedrock of stuff that I kind of came up with, thinking, like in New York, just turn on the radio, you would hear all those. Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, AC/DC, all those kind of bedrock of classic rock stuff.
Does it piss you off, man, personally, now that you can call yourself a musician without even playing an instrument? For example, some of these super rich people that, they'll sing, and then you got an app that'll just make music for you. Does that piss you off, man, as a musician?
It's a challenging time, isn't it? Like you're talking about like all the stuff with artificial intelligence right now, and money getting you from A to B.
Basically, you need no talent to be a musician today.
It's kind of yeah. It can be a little how do you put it, like frustrating, and but I can't worry about, if I were just worry about what everybody else is doing all the time, I wouldn't have a life, Well, it kind of I'll tell you what I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder about, something I noticed a lot in my last. I just spent 6 years living in Canada. Is like you see this kind of thing of like. It troubles me when I see younger artists that maybe like their parents, like they supported them very much so, like they stage kids, what they call, right? It's like it's like from a very young age they're like they get the singing lessons, the dancing lessons, they get put on stage, and they have like older people telling them what to do all the time, and then eventually in their teenage years maybe they get signed to some kind of label. And the labels are telling them, it's like, oh, copy this trend on TikTok, or like, sing this song that somebody in LA wrote for you to sing. So that bums me out, because it's like, man, that's like a person with a soul. That's a kid, who has soul in them, but they don't know any other way of like getting their stuff out there other than like being told what to do. I never really had that. Like, I mean, my parents were supportive of what I did, but they never like kind of like micromanage my career.
Sure.
I'm glad that I got to figure it out myself, to like to look within and see what's inside of me, what kind of songs I want to write, what type of performer I want to write, what I'm influenced by and stuff. I think people should get obsessed about like what motivates them and what drives them to become an artist, rather than these kind of I guess you could call them frivolous objectives, right? Of just like, oh, if only I could go viral, if it's kind of sad when you see people going down that route of just trying to go viral and trying to make something that's popular. It's like, well, people are going to like this, so I'm going to do that, rather than looking inside. And, that's what kind of bums me out. Then technology, there's always been like a kind of like a problem with like technology. It's like, oh, well, now everybody can record music, and if you go back in the day, like, I'm thinking of your recording engineer here in the back, like, back in the day, the guys that used to run recording studios, those guys were scientists, they wore lab coats, and that they were into the science of like what recording music was. And I guess there's positive things about like being able to record at your home now and stuff like that, but technology isn't always constructive towards creativity,
Yeah.
Sorry for the long-winded answer.
No, man. I mean,
I just care.
What pissed me off, I heard that Taylor Swift is considered larger than Michael Jackson. And you're like, what? What kind of world are we living in where Taylor Swift can even be compared? Or Michael Jackson even be compared to Taylor Swift? I mean, the guy was music in himself.
Yeah. It goes in waves a little bit.
It's like, what?
Yeah, it goes in waves, I find, a little bit. Like, you probably remember near the end of the 80s, when there was like a super like glam rock and like pop kind of stuff, like super, just like all aesthetic bands like Poison and stuff like that.
But the hair bands?
The hair bands, right? So it all became super glamorized in LA, Sunset Strip, making millions of dollars kind of thing. And that reaches a kind of peak, and then that dies, and then grunge music kind of comes up from the roots of punk rock. You get bands like Nirvana, people aren't wearing hairspray anymore, and the music is more minimalistic, and then it goes up into the, Korn and Limp Bizkit, FM radio kind of stuff, and then it goes back down again. You get bands like The Strokes and The Hives and the White Stripes, more minimalistic again, and then it goes back up again. Same with Taylor Swift. Like right now, there's something happening right now in the top 10 Billboard charts that there's this country artist that maybe you've heard of in the United States. Her name is Ella Langley, and she's doing like this real old school country music, like a real roots-driven country music, very similar to the stuff that Loretta Lynn or Dolly Parton would have done. And her song "Choosing Texas" has been #1 on the Billboard charts for 13 weeks, and she has 3 songs on the top 5 right now, and she beat out Taylor Swift. So nice. it all I'm just telling you, it goes in cycles, it goes in ups and downs, but yeah, I mean, there is this whole kind of like what they call like algorithm chasing kind of nature to music now. That's kind of it's uninteresting. Like, I'm uninterested whenever I see like because I am, as much as I am an artist, I am also a consumer of arts, right? And I'm not interested when I can see somebody on stage or on my phone that's like, oh, that person really wants to be famous. I'm not really that interested in those people. I think like if you have something to say, then if there's substance to what you're doing, then I'm more interested. But if there's just people who are trying to chase the algorithm or do some trend, or like or their videos are always so perfectly lit and the edits and the cuts are all so perfect, there's nothing really interesting about being perfect,
Sure. So are you playing, man? Are you playing at bars? What's
I've been busy. I've been actually pretty busy. I have a band here that's called Electric Child, and have my own solo band too as well. And I played like 3 shows a week since I've gone here.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm playing next week. Next week I'll be playing at Strummer Bar with Electric Child on the 23rd. And then the next morning I'm hopping on a bus and I'm going to Puerto Madryn. Where the whales beach.
Sure, yeah.
I'm going there to go play a solo show at a theater there and do a little clinic. So
what's the pay like? 'Cause I ran a bar for 2 years, and I had live music every night. And the musicians would come, okay, well, we want this much, and we want this. And I would say, how about if I give you this? Do you find it hard to negotiate with the bar owners? Or?
Yeah, sure. And I guess, I mean, I'm glad you haven't asked me this yet, but a lot of people usually when I go and get interviewed, they try to ask me like the difference between how's it like playing in Argentina and playing in Canada or the United States or something. And it's kind of pretty similar, you know, like at the end of the day, everybody wants, I understand there's a business at the end of the day and everybody wants to meet their bottom line. Thankfully, as I've gotten a little bit older and I have a little bit more of a curriculum or a pedigree or what I guess in what I do, it's been easier for me to negotiate like the numbers I want to achieve. I've been doing shows. This is the first time this happened in a long time that I've done like shows which is like a percentage of the bar. That's been like a thing that like I think musicians have been trying to achieve for a long time. It's like, well, you guys are making all this money selling alcohol. Where's our cut of it? Now for the first time, I find myself doing that. Like I'll do like 10% of a bar or something like that, you know, and that ends up being sometimes sweeter than ticket sales because it's like people will be reluctant to pay a ticket fee. But they'll buy so many drinks when they're at a bar. They want the ticket to be free so they can spend all their money on booze, right? So
I remember like a really popular band, let's say on the coast in the summer, would come into the bar. You know, their manager, or whoever, was like, "All right,
coast, you mean like Hesa?
Yeah, like Hesa. Mm-hmm. So, okay, we want 20,000 pesos, and 3 pizzas and 4 beers.
Nice.
And I'm like, okay, I'll give you 10,000 pieces, two pizzas."
10,000 pizzas? That sounds amazing.
10,000 pesos, 2 pizzas, and 3 beers. And they're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You know? And some people would say, we just play for free. Just give us a couple beers, you know? Because there's a lot of musicians, man. There are a lot of musicians.
Yeah.
And a lot of bands.
Yeah.
And they find it hard. I remember some of the bands would actually sleep in the bar.
Yeah.
They had nowhere to go and nowhere to sleep. There was this band from Mendoza. They were a great reggae band, one of the best reggae bands I've ever seen or heard. These guys were great, but they were like sleeping like on the beach, man. I was like, just stay at the bar.
There's all these things, right?
Rough.
As an artist, because like I think like maybe being a musician is just one of the checkpoints that you need to have when it comes to being an artist, right? There are all these things you need to be socially able to talk to people and to be charismatic and to be easy to get along with. You need to be also a good businessman or woman, like in both sense of the words, like in looking out for yourself and also making sure that the people you're working with are also getting their due. You need to be good at marketing. You need to be good at public speaking, things like that. There's so many little checkpoints that you need to have to being an artist, and
but it's hard.
It's
man.
not easy for anybody, man. God knows I've also slept in random places as well through the years, you know.
It's hard though for an artist to be a salesman, man, or a musician to be a salesman, because it happens to me. I'm a writer, but I can't go around the bookshop selling my book because they're like, nah, and I take that very personally. Rejection sucks.
What we'll do, here's a little industry secret that I probably shouldn't be giving up, but what some bands do who don't have managers, they'll invent a manager, right? So let's say, like, hypothetically, like, you're a venue owner and I'm an artist trying to book a show. And it's like, oh, yeah, just text this guy. And I'll text you pretending to be my manager, even though I don't have a manager. And that also ends up kind of having funny results, too.
That's smart.
Yeah. It's kind of a move.
Yeah,
I kind of gave it up now, though. So all you venue owners out there who think that you've been talking to my manager, it's actually been ChatGPT all along.
How do you approach a bar or something like that? Are they're contacting you?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I've been lucky because before I moved to Canada, I was playing a lot of places down here, and for the most part, they're all still here, and a lot of them are still run by the same people. So it's just kind of been like a word of mouth thing in which offers come in, and we just kind of pick up where we left off, but adjusted to inflation.
Yeah. How do you see the nightlife here?
Oh, it's the most vibrant. This is probably one of the most vibrant nightlives in the world, I would say. Probably sometimes a lot of people, like even here in this city, they try to talk about, well, you're living. You say, yeah, but here we live in the what they call el tupper, right? Estás en el tupper de Buenos Aires kind of thing. It's like, yeah, But that's a pretty big piece of Tupperware right there. This is arguably one of the best. I've lived in New York City. I've lived in Toronto. I lived in Montevideo. I lived in Washington, D.C. And Buenos Aires is arguably one of the best cities in the world for culture and for nightlife and stuff like that. And there's always, I live in Palermo right now, and there's always 7 days a week. There's always something going, multiple places going on, and
Are you paying rent in Palermo?
I am paying rent. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah. What's the rent like?
How much we're talking about money here today? I mean, it's more than I would like to, but maybe.
Why Palermo?
I don't know. I hadn't really made much plans, like made long-term plans, but I found a spot that was near places that I was going to be playing, and I've been walking to shows like that. I go just pick up my guitar and walk to the shows.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I would say Buenos Aires is one of the most vibrant nightlives in the world. And the energy of I guess in my case, because I play rock and roll music, the energy that people bring out to rock concerts here. I mean, you're no stranger to that. You've seen footage of like what rock concerts are like here. It's incredible. Like maybe that's the one thing that it's not that I took for granted, but like I forgot about because I got used to, like, it's not that crowds in Canada weren't enthusiastic. They were as enthusiastic as they could be. But I think it has to do with the fact that during the dictatorship here in Argentina, rock music was basically illegal. There's anecdotes of like the few kind of big rock concerts that happened here during the dictatorship, that being, Santana in 74, Queen in 81, and that's about it. Then once democracy came back, Van Halen came in 83, and then that's when rock concerts really started happening here. You see footage of like when the Rolling Stones first came here, or AC/DC in 2009, which is, some people say it's arguably the best rock concert ever held, is AC/DC in 2009 in River Plate. And the way people react here is just like, people go out.
Well, there's a lot of passion, man.
There's an insane amount of passion.
There's a lot of passion. You're feeling the passion now during the World Cup.
Oh my God, yeah. The last World Cup I saw it in Toronto, and now I'm here seeing this new one, and Jesus, man, like I was reading. There's an article that came out the other day. Somebody sent to me, the New York Times wrote about the psychology of the Argentinian and the World Cup, that it's unmatched by any sports fan in the United States, like where the NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, it doesn't matter. Like, people here, they say that when Argentina wins, in this article, they say that it's like a natural psychedelic, that it's just like a flow of dopamine so intense that you almost pass out, that you almost like go into like shock, and dude, there's been cases like people have heart attacks like recently, right? People have died.
It's like watching the ninth inning, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, full count, 2 outs,
for 90 minutes
of your two favorite teams, the Red Sox and the Yankees, bottom of the ninth, and you're just like, you're on edge for 45 minutes, for an hour and a half, and if it goes, you're just like, it's just insane.
There's nothing like it, man. There's nothing like it at all. I don't know where it comes from, but it's and they in this article they related it to the fact that so many people in this city go to the psychologist, that there's so many like psychologists per capita here, and that once the game, like, we all watch the same game, right? When we see Argentina play, for some reason, when we meet up with a friend, we need to talk about what it made you feel, right? Even though it was the same game. I don't know. It's something special, man. I'm glad.
The water guy came, dropped off water today, and he was like, ¿Y cómo estás para mañana? How do you feel for tomorrow? ¿Cómo estás para? I was like, nervioso, sí.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, sí, pero vamos a ganar, vamos a golear,
I ran into your previous guest down there before I came up, and I was like, man, you chose the wrong time to be British in this country right now. It was the wrong time to be British here. But yeah.
Have you been celebrating?
Yeah, I've been seeing the games either with friends and family and stuff like that, and just like because it's been the first time in 6 years that I've seen Argentina games in Argentina with Argentinians. It's just like this whole, I shit you not, like when the goals happen on our behalf, I almost I feel this rush of adrenaline, similar to the ones that I've had on my best moments on stage. It's like everything I see everything in slow motion for a second, and it's kind of cool because right now, sorry to nerd out so much, but you know how there's like you can either watch the game. There's so many mediums in which you can watch the game or listen to the game. You can watch it on the radio. You can watch it on like regular cable. You can watch it on streaming services. So therefore, there's a lot of like delay and lag. So I'll be watching the game and I'll start hearing this. At first you hear the honks of the cab driver's horns because they're listening to it on the radio, so they get it first. And then you start hearing the neighbors yell, and then you see, and then you see
domino effect.
Domino effect. It's crazy. It's like the circle of life or something happening. Yeah. No, it's been great. I'm sure by the time that this airs, tomorrow's game would have already have happened. So I don't know. Fingers crossed, man.
Fingers crossed.
Especially with everything. Sorry to keep going on about this, but yesterday I was with a friend. We were talking about the complicated relationship between Britain and Argentina, right? Because like it's not black and white. There's grays to it. It's not that like it's not necessarily like fuck Britain or like Britain's great. It's complicated, right? So let's. On one hand, like in 1806 and 1807, there was an invasion of Britain here. They tried to take over this country twice and they lost twice. So on that hand, fuck Britain. Yeah, if you're Argentine. On the other hand, they brought the very game here. The first football club that ever existed in this country was called Alumni. And it was a British guy, and he brought the game here and he started teaching it here, and then Argentina kind of takes it under their wing, you know, and it's like, this is ours, you know. And then also like the colonialism and all that stuff, imperialism, but also all the British railroads that exist here, like the railroad system that came here in the 1800s was done by the British, right? Yeah. And there's an interesting kind of a thing here, you know, the Rolling Stones are a British band, but Argentina adopts them and makes them theirs, and there's a whole generation of los Rollingas, you know, and it's a complicated push and pull thing that happens here with British and with the British culture. And then also there's a reason why like countries like India, they really support the Argentinian national team, and the Irish have had a big history here in this country. Argentina is the country with the biggest Irish immigration and population outside of the English speaking world, and that has to do partly because Argentina has always had an anti-imperialist, anti-British thing. So other countries that have been anti-British, like Ireland or India, countries that were also kind of colonialized by the British, they support Argentina because they, you know, like
Australians also consider Argentines cousins.
Exactly, right? So there's this whole kind of like anti-imperialist history between the countries that draws support. So why is it that you see footage of like, you know, 50,000 people in Bangladesh all with Argentina jerseys, you know, it's crazy stuff, man.
All right. Cool, man. All right, getting back to your music. I see you got your, like you said, you got your metal guitar there.
Yeah, about the steel today, yeah.
Would you like to play something?
Sure, man. I'll sing you something.
Yeah, cool. All right, this is the musical section where our guest, John Goodblood, is going to bestow upon us.
So you want to hear something original
the magic.
Today, right?
Something original.
Yeah, okay.
Something of your own making, your own production. Tell us a little bit about this guitar.
This guitar I bought in Italy in like 2012. I've had it forever. I played it for such a long time, and the neck and the frets got completely worn down until it just fell off one day. But a fellow luthier in Canada fixed it up for me and got a brand new neck on it. So it was out of commission for a couple of years, but I brought it back.
It almost sounds like an electric guitar.
Yeah, it's really loud. These type of guitars were meant to like compete with like orchestra level like instruments, you know, like if you had like a whole horn section, a whole string section, but one guitar, you needed something loud, right? And then they became really popular in the Mississippi Delta with Delta blues musicians, you know, like Son House and stuff like that. This is a guitar that became really synonymous with blues and stuff like that.
What are we gonna listen to here?
Yeah, I'm gonna play a song for you of mine. I got a new record coming out. This is the opening song. It's called Hot Garbage.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
Wow, you gotta love hot garbage.
Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. got no problem being down in the dumps. I got no problem cleaning up all your junk. Your new perfume line is made out of skunk, and it reeks, how it reeks. The flies are buzzing and they're rubbing their hands. They're getting dirtier wherever we land. I plead the filth and I get on the stand and I speak. Yes, I speak. I'm sorry, baby, time to take out the trash. But while we're at it, let's go out with a bash. Cause I'm hot garbage. You're a dumpster on fire. There ain't nothing to salvage. Hot garbage. You're everything I desire, but I can't take the carnage. Hot garbage. You got me feeling like the last of the few. You got me thinking that you're Pepper Le Pew. Well, I could smell you from a mile, maybe two, and you reek of Eureka. I'm sorry, baby, time to take out the trash. But while we're at it, let's go out with a bash. Cause I'm hot garbage. You're a dumpster on fire. There ain't nothing to salvage. Hot garbage. You're everything I desire, but I can't take the carnage. Garbage.
Woo!
Something like that.
All right.
Short version for the podcast.
All right. That's
Here we are.
awesome, man.
It's a cool song, right? Yeah.
I bet that really rocks with like the harmonica and the drums.
Well, on record it has the drums and it's got banjo, piano, and
Nice.
full ensemble piece.
Yeah. How'd you come up with that?
I was walking down St. Clair West in Toronto. I'd spent the night somewhere, and I was walking home, and I think it was in July. Yeah, it was like in July, so it was really hot out there in Toronto, and it just reeked of garbage. It just smelled really bad on the street, so I thought it was a cool metaphor for other things going on in my life. But,
sure.
But yeah.
There's always,
I wrote the song on a walk, just in my head, you know.
Yeah, those are the best ones, dude.
Hopefully.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
Yeah, it's a good sign. It opens my new record that's coming out soon. So,
When's it coming out?
It should be out any day now. It's on a distribution platform, so maybe like within the next week.
What's it called?
The album's called Rock and Roll Trauma.
Rock and Roll Trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, recorded it here?
I mean, it's got stuff that's been recorded here, stuff that's been recorded in Toronto. It's all over. It's got like 20 songs on it, so it's a few years of work in there.
Yeah. And how do you see the quality of the musicians here?
Here in Argentina?
Yeah, here in Argentina.
Oh man, it's terrific. There's a lot of great instrumentalists here, and people familiarized with music that I guess you wouldn't be too easy to find in North America. You know, people that have like the folk forms of Latin American music, right? Whether it be tango, whether it be folklore, whether it be other Latin American chamamé, yeah, whether it be other Latin Americans like samba or salsa. Or bossa nova or all the other type of cumbia, all the other types of music that it's not that stuff isn't available. Like, let's put it this way. Like, in Ontario, like, in Canada, it was far easier for me to find people who played country music, for example, because, like, that's, like, the folk music of North America is, like, country music. So it would be easy to find, like, a fiddle player that could play that kind of style. And it's not that you can't find that here. There's great jazz musicians here, an example, in Argentina, you know? And it's not that you can't find that stuff here, but you're more likely to find music that has, like, the cultural roots of where it's from, you know? Sure. And it's really easy to find really good musicians to play down here, you know? And
do you go and watch other bands?
I do, yeah. Usually it's when I'm performing. I'm kind of like, I'm pretty diligent, like, about I'm always working, you know? So I try not to. It's rare for me to go out and see bands like as a recreational thing of like calling up a buddy and like, let's go see a band, you know, but I'll see them like either the acts I'm opening for or that opening for me, or, you know, on a rare blue moon, I'll go see like a friend's band or something like that. But yeah, no, I see a lot of great talent out there. There's this fella here It would be great, actually, if you had him on. He's not necessarily a gringo, but he's this fella that he has a company that makes washboards. You know, it's like the instrument.
Sure.
And his name is Lucio Pellegrini, and I think he's probably one of the like top jazz musicians like in this country right now. And he plays. He has like this kind of setup. He does like New Orleans style music, like 1930s kind of New Orleans jazz swing kind of stuff. And I go in and I guest on his shows and stuff, and he plays with some of the best cats, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I love live music. You know, the thing is, man, everything starts so late, man.
Oh, yeah.
Everything starts
Tell
so
me about
late,
it.
man.
Yeah.
You know, if I can go to a place at like 8, 9, watch some live music, be home by 12, for me, it's perfect. But you got to get out at 12, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. In Toronto, like, it was like 6 years that I never played a show past 11 o'clock. Because there's like a bylaw that's like, you can't, if you make noise past this hour, you're gonna get fined. You know, you're gonna get in all sorts of trouble. And here, I'll be getting up on stage at 1:30 in the morning, 2 in the morning. You know, but I'm okay with it. I like it. I like
you're young.
I like I'm not that young, but I like the smoky clubs. I like the late.
Sure.
It's a real experience. It's a little less controlled, a little less sanitized. You know.
Yeah, for sure. All right, awesome, dude. Awesome. All right. Well, we're almost out of time, but I want to thank you for being here. Would you like to play another song?
If you would like me to, I'll
yes,
gladly.
please. We'll play another song, and then we'll be good to go for the next show. And we'll definitely go check you out.
Hell yeah.
Let us know. Keep us posted where you play. Johnny Goodblood, on behalf of Locuras Rock, trayendo el rock de Villa Gesell a Buenos Aires. Charlie, sos un capo. Johnny Goodblood.
Sometimes I think about antimatter. If I can see it, then why should it matter? Sometimes I feel like a particle, a molecule, something I read in an article long ago. Sometimes I think about God, but then I sing la-da-dee-da-dee-da. Swing, batter, batter. I'll serve it up on a silver platter. I sing, then I make you shatter. I swear my love is like antimatter. I'm Oppenheimer at Trinity. What happens after infinity? The world is turning tyrannical, mechanical. They eat you up like a cannibal on sabbatical. Sometimes I feel like a fraud, but then I sing la-da-dee-da-dee-da. Swing, batter, batter. I serve it up on a silver platter. I sing, then I make you shatter. I swear my love is like antimatter. Swing, batter, batter. I serve it up on a silver platter. I sing, then I make you shatter. I swear my love is like antimatter.
There we go.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And we'll catch you next time for another dose of the Gringos in Buenos Aires podcast. Thank you, Johnny.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. Ciao for now.
Gringos in Buenos Aires. The lights on the street, the rhythm is jumping. Gringos in town and everybody is humping. From the north to the south, we're making some noise, showing the world we got the soul and the voice.